is. Then it's like, well, what's the point? Just make a new character.
But if they took her, I mean, if they
I felt like that with Tomb Raider. Shit.
If they take her face mask,
exactly.
How do you know?
Tomb Raider has the same air of it, but Tomb Raider wasn't as bad because at least you made the argument where she's younger and she still had the general basic look.
Her titties are smaller because she's younger. What the?
No, she did.
Well, that would make sense.
If she started working
it
out,
would be smaller because she's younger.
Well, she's. I don't think your titties grow from 20 to 30.
Hey,
unless you're having babies and shit, they're probably the same.
Some women would disagree.
I just want to ask Terrell, like, so how did you know what Scarlett looked like? All you could see was basically barely her eyes and eyebrows. Like, how would you know what her face looked like?
I know her. I'm talking about her design, like her whole body design.
I
know what
she just has a different outfit on, no mask, and a different haircut. I mean,
I just think, again, especially if you go back to the other Mortal Kombat, they drastically change character design so much.
It's a known thing they do. They always do it.
Like Sonya Blade looks a lot different from the original. Like, dude, the original Sonya it's literally a complete different I
didn't even recognize Liu Kang. I was like,
one of the programmers or some shit. They just digitized their face into the game. Their whole body.
Yeah, literally at this point, Ashley just looks like Ronda Rousey is her name, I believe.
Well, no, I mean, to be fair, this Sonya Blade looks a lot more like the Mortal Kombat X one. The Mortal Kombat X one looks similar to that.
Is there
which was the one that had the really ugly character designs? Was that Injustice? Maybe that was Injustice.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah. Injustice had really ugly looking characters.
They were fuck.
Same developer.
That's a case where you could say, all right, you had I don't remember what it was. Was it the outfits? Was it just art style? Something about it was just so off on those.
No, it was hideous. And especially the women, they looked hideous in some of those games.
I was looking for if they had.
Also, Sonya does not look that different between games. Well, let me rephrase that.
No, I'm talking about the first one Mortal Kombat X. I said she looks the same, but if you go before that,
I think
he goes from green pants and stuff like that to like a soldier, and it's they always drastically change the way they look.
I don't remember Baraka having spikes on his shoulders and stuff.
Yeah, Baraka, people act like, oh no, how you gonna why are you gonna make it look like that when in all reality they always change it.
I don't remember Raiden
having that guy voice. I love that voice.
That's a Mortal Kombat thing. They always change the way they look.
The stupid internet guy voice.
Some people look a lot more different than they do. And as for Scarlett, she was the one. She was the one this time where they really changed.
Well, Raiden don't. To me, why is his face blue? Is that something like when did that happen?
Oh,
he's very cold.
He's changed looks. All the characters have it.
I know. He looks
very cold.
So that's the whole point we're getting to, is that Mortal Kombat is always, with each new game, there's always characters that look completely different than the previous game.
The thing that I thought was the worst always was I really like Mortal Kombat 3, but man, what they did from Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat 2 to Mortal Kombat 3, that was absolutely god awful.
They took his mask off, didn't they?
Yeah, they made this.
I do remember that.
This Hawaiian lover boy outfit, whatever the fuck that bullshit was. I was like, come on. It used to be like this fucking.
And then you go to the movies.
But he was one of my.
You go to the movies and Raiden looks like a white dude.
Highlander.
Yeah, that's a good point. When you had Sub-Zero without his mask.
Oh yeah, that was the first one. Highlander. And the second one was a different white guy.
So the people who complain about it are people who haven't been playing Mortal Kombat for very long. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Well, because the issue all right. We could probably do it in the podcast.
Can we transition from that into...
We're in the podcast, fool.
Yeah, we're in the podcast already, pal. Sorry, you didn't know. We've been here like 5 minutes.
I was looking up some comparison shots of different
this looks nothing like Raiden has ever looked.
Wait, what?
The only way I know this is Raiden, maybe it isn't even, is the hat. That's it.
Where?
I'm just watching a trailer from the official website.
Oh.
But I gotta admit, if the dude didn't call him Raiden in the trailer, and I didn't see some random lightning, I was like, oh, okay, it's Raiden and shit. I know what you mean with that.
He looks like Dr. Manhattan.
I guess because the point isn't the fact that the character designs change. The point is, why have it be the same character if they look nothing alike anymore? Like,
why not just make a new character?
Yeah, why not make a new character? That's the issue.
I guess, but again, like to me, it's just
because it just comes off as like
if they're always drastically changing it. At that point, it's like, well, where are the original characters? You know what I mean? Like they are them. Just
I don't.
They're locked behind DLC. That's what they are.
Yeah, they are.
It's just like the new Raiden. I guess he just looks way too
Like, dude,
generic. I feel he could be randomly anybody and
Yeah,
shit.
like Dr. Manhattan.
Very
generic.
Reptile at one point was an actual ninja. Then he turned into an actual reptile.
An actual reptile.
it's like that's how they do it. That's how they fucking.
But
do
then
it.
again, he was generic to begin with because he was just
he
was just a reskin of
version.
Scorpio or what's his name? Sub-Zero. He was just a reskin of those guys.
Yeah, for sure.
But that was understandable because they were trying to save space, you know.
And then you got like Smoke and Air Mech and Rain and shit. Like I said,
right, exactly. Yeah. They were just trying to save on cartridge space.
Or Noob Saibot. Noob Saibot was just a gray guy. He was just a shadow.
Yeah,
they got really cheap with that stuff.
But I still love Noob Saibot. I was like, oh shit, he's a shadow. He's all dark.
Yeah, like Visor Grunt says, Scarlet looks like her own character now, not just a palette swap for female
ninja. Right. I mean, that's a good thing. It's just like
female who?
Ninja.
That's the good thing about it. But then when you take traditional characters who already had a unique look, when you take them and then totally revamp them, that is kind of off-putting. It's kind of strange.
I don't know. I think we're borderline here on being a bit too out there, because if we go into that mindset, we might as well just push Link into the bonfire right now, because if you take the Wind Waker Link and then the next game be Skyward Sword, you're like, who the fuck is this character?
But if you look at like Ken and Ryu, like you can recognize them from game 1 to now,
based on their color.
They never really changed. To be fair.
Not if you play Street Fighter.
Yeah, I'll say it doesn't really change designs like that. There's a few characters.
But if you put Ryu, the Street Fighter V Ryu, in just like regular clothes, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's Ryu." You gotta see him.
You might laugh as well. I love the original Pauline in Donkey Kong. I mean, what the fuck happened to his Super Mario Odyssey?
Yeah, I wasn't happy with that. I didn't say anything about it, but I was like, why did they change her so much?
Wait, what was the problem?
I was joking.
I know you were joking, but
I'm more
dead
confused.
serious.
I'm like, what was the difference?
Yeah.
No, her hair color is different. Why is she so much taller than Mario? That's bullshit.
No, to me that makes sense.
What happened to her 2 hair plaits as well, man? I love that shit. That turned me on, as a kid.
I can imagine the changes they did to Pauline, considering like Peach and Daisy. My problem was always, why the fuck is like Rosalina actually like a giant?
Well,
in Galaxy she was always super big. Even in Galaxy she was very big.
Yeah, I think I think if anything, they were just trying to be consistent with Rosalina. Rosalina just never stopped being big.
She was always like one of the taller people.
She's a goddess.
Where's this going now?
we're in the woods now, man.
Did you want me to talk about the collector's edition and the $300?
We're talking about Mortal Kombat, so go ahead.
Okay,
and I have no idea what it comes with. You said the price.
Well, that's what I'm going to talk about. So it comes with a mask and stand. Let's see, a steel bookcase, a magnet, an authenticity plaque,
what?
In a black collector's box.
Is the 300? Is the authenticity plaque for the magnet?
Say what?
Is the authenticity plaque for the magnet?
I don't think it's with the magnet, but it's.
I know, I'm messing.
It's but that's what you get for $300.
Yo, that's 300. Well, yo.
That's way too much.
Wait. Is there more? I thought there was more.
No, that's it.
Fuck them.
That mask is not worth $200.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now, man. Oh my god, it
300.
It looks like a weak skeletal or something. Oh, what is it?
All right.
Let's stay on this though, because you know that Mortal Kombat, what is 11, is just too violent for the Nintendo Switch. So that's.
I actually want to talk.
Where the hell did that come from? Because I was hearing that recently for some reason.
Yeah, I didn't see anybody actually saying
Well, it came from one of these pop-up, and I like to call them pop-up fraudulent Nintendo YouTube channels who popped up during the Switch. It was Switch Force. those guys.
No.
And I don't know why. Like I don't know why it became a big thing.
Oh wait, there's Switch Force. No, I was thinking of Switch Up. Then I was thinking, no, it can't be those guys.
No, Switch Force. I already know. The reason why I know Switch Force is because Ghost Robo is a part of that channel. I already knew of him beforehand.
But I don't know why it's like a big thing that they one. It was one of the guys in it that mentioned the fact that it was weird that Mortal Kombat 11 was on Switch, and I say fraudulent not because I have a problem with Switch Force. I don't. I just thought the premise of the
That's
Switch.
a dumb thing to say.
Yeah, like the Switch is. This is, Nintendo is mostly been family friendly, and I'm like, do you have Nintendo consoles? Like, what kind of stupid shit is that? Like,
but remember, that's like when people used to say like, oh, Mortal Kombat 10 or whatever, like that's way too violent for the Wii U, and then now like, oh, now it's coming to the Switch. Oh, no, it's too violent for the Switch and shit. And now that it's coming, like people used to say that it's too violent. Now they go like, oh, it won't be able to. That's like always excuses. Now it can't handle that shit.
Have you owned a Super Nintendo? Have you owned a N64? Have you owned a GameCube? Especially GameCube. Have you owned a Wii?
There's even like so some original NES games that are like kind of super violent and gory.
Right, you can even go back to NES. I mean, but there's so many mature, violent games throughout Nintendo consoles.
It goes back to Mortal Kombat on the SNES and people who are now like 16 using that as ammunition as if they were there to use as ammunition.
But if you name your channel Switch Force, I would think you have some idea of Nintendo and.
No! Come on, dude. Come on now.
It just doesn't make sense to me. Like some people are like, oh, no big deal, whatever. But to me, it's just like, why is this kind of stuff allowed to go on? Well, it's not being unchecked, at least.
The funny thing about it is that guy plays, like his main channel was based upon playing every fucking game that release every week and acting like it's the greatest game ever.
Yeah.
And they created Switch Force because he saw an opportunity.
Right.
Smart idea. And base this channel on Switch, getting all this publicity, and instantly had like 1 million subs. And doesn't really know Nintendo. But
here's the thing: he liked the game. So why? Remember before Switch, there was all these lists that Nintendo had to do this for Switch to be successful, and one of them was third party, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a third party game, a big major third party franchise coming back basically to Nintendo. Shouldn't you be congratulated that instead of saying this shouldn't be on Switch? Like, I don't understand.
It's not just that. It's also like that list, like you said. Another thing that was on that list, even though nobody looked at what was on the Wii U, people, you need more mature games and shit,
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was definitely a thing.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Mature rated games. This is one of the things you have to have. It's more mature rated games, more third party games.
It gets thrown
this is one of them. And he likes the game. It's not like it's a game he doesn't like. But
more like current gen games and shit. Like Mortal Kombat 11 is basically all that shit.
Right.
And I'm sorry to change it back to the collector's edition. I'm watching the video of the guy. It's just it's not even a mask you can wear, and it looks nothing like the Scorpion. I wouldn't know that is Scorpion. That gold mask with the black hood, like.
It's probably like one of the variations of the mask.
It's the one they show. It's the one they show, right? Well, yeah, but it's just so generic looking. Like, I mean, yeah, it's probably. Cost some money to build something like that, but it doesn't even represent Scorpion.
Well, $300. You see that little Mortal Kombat sign, little trinket they got there? Yeah, like the little Mortal Kombat emblem. It looks like it's a keyring or something.
Yeah.
For $300, I would prefer a wall-size one of those to mount up on the wall or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a stupid fucking mask.
Yeah,
that would make so much more sense if you want to do something like that.
Because you gotta have like a display case and shit for that. It's a normal size, like human size head almost with a hood. I don't know.
Find a picture of this.
I sent a link to the video in the live chat. I'll send it into the group chat here.
No, I was just looking for a photo. I don't want to have a video running.
There's nothing important to say.
People in the chat are like mentioning, like the Wii U and all mature games and stuff like that. It's just like we've all said, if the word mature gets thrown around really easy on what's actually a mature game. But you know, from the NES and onwards, Nintendo consoles have a variety of games for all ages. And you know it, and even if you want to just skip the NES and the SNES, you go to the N64, you had you had everything on there. You know,
Mortal Kombat on the
N64. You had the Turoks. It's just the list goes on.
Doom 2016 is on Switch.
Yeah, and that's
Wolfenstein 2 is on Switch. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't understand why. I guess because Mortal Kombat is the most open with its gore, but actually, like Vazo Grunt says,
but Doom, come on,
Doom is ridiculous.
How about the Ninja Gaiden on there? To me, is just about in the same tier of ridiculousness.
Well, and Doom, you literally crash inside the head and like fucking like you're like, come on,
Razor's Edge. Excuse me, what's the? Oh my god, Devil's Third. That game is so stupidly gory.
Yeah,
I never I don't really want to give too much credence to a few people saying stupid shit like that. But from a gameplay standpoint, and I haven't played Mortal Kombat since 4, probably. I don't think I've played one since then. So I don't know if it was 9 or 10 that started this interrupting the action to show like bones breaking and stuff.
Yeah.
To me, I don't care about it being gory or violent. It just it breaks up the for me the flow of the fighting, watching it. I don't know about playing it. And the second part is you're showing a chest get just absolutely caved in. You take the time to zoom in and show that, and then it zooms out, and then there's the dude still fighting. Like, it makes no sense on any level. I just think it's a dumb thing to even have in the game at all. Like,
it's a spectacle because Mortal Kombat made its name off of its goal.
I was gonna say,
but keep that for the
that's why
you over-exaggerate. It's the evolution of what Mortal Kombat was always been about.
Realistically, how much more can you do? You can't have a character.
Right. You can make that I know what the juice means, because you can make that like a fatality, or just because you had like fatality, babality, animality. You had so many of that shit. Make like an X fatality. I don't know what shit, because it's like you said, it used to always be gory and brutal. But I feel like the bone breaking shit makes it comical. It doesn't make you like feel like this is gonna sound dumb, but you're not like afraid of the game anymore, because people are like immortal jelly characters now. It doesn't bother them. Like even like a fatality now you do fatality, oh, you got sawed in half. Oh, that's okay. Like then for the next fight, you just glue them back together. It doesn't matter. They can't die. It doesn't hurt them. And you have the stupid X-rays and shit, and they like literally like crush the head and shit. You're like, okay, now it's just getting like funny, stupid instead of like creepy, gory.
I thought Mortal Kombat was always kind of funny. Stupid.
I was gonna say it's just highlighting the fact that it's not like I never felt like Mortal Kombat combat was that compelling anyway.
On the hit.
It was always about the pomp and circumstance.
It's like I hit you in the chest so hard, your chest explodes.
I get it, but to me, like I am not just somebody watching gameplay. It takes me out of it. I don't know about. I haven't played it, so I can't say, but it just feels like an unnecessary distraction.
To me, it's the only real evolution you can do, because I mean you
need to evolve that. You got
you're right. I mean you're definitely right. It's like it does take away from the flow of the game, but they need a gimmick, because that's
like the only thing you can do, because they tried to change up gameplay styles.
Here's what would make it for me. What would make it kind of interesting. Now I know they introduced like the damage you could see on the characters like a while back. Now, if you have a little cinematic of someone breaking their arm, how about now they can't use that arm if somebody pulled off the move, and now your attacks are slightly changed for the rest of the fight because your arm's broken. Your left arm's broken, so now you're throwing right punches only, something like that.
That's too strategic.
I think that'd be a little bit too. It also makes things a little bit too limiting, I guess.
No, because I always thought Mortal Kombat would do a thing like that too, because like a fighting game I really loved always, like on the N64, BioFreaks, they used that mechanic. You could rip somebody's arm off, and for the rest of the combat, you'd be fighting with like one arm, and you had to like adapt your strategy according to that shit, So I always figured like that's like a good thing to do.
Same developers, they don't.
Bushido Blades was one where you actually lost your legs.
Bushido Blade, yeah.
And you had to fight differently in order to succeed. It doesn't distract from the fight. It certainly makes it more strategic.
But gamers today don't want that, man. They want flash. over.
I don't know if it was distracting. Just to me, it creates a situation where the further the fight goes on, it's like, oh, if I lose an arm, I'm already at a disadvantage, and I was
now I
already
have to learn how to play with one arm like that. People ain't gonna like that.
Yeah, because it essentially turns it into a like, who can break whose arm first, and whoever can do that, you've essentially almost won the match. Because
but do it something like near the end of the match, not like in the beginning. You know, I mean, you still have a meter you got to fill up. Like it's still a better choice, I feel.
To me, it would add something if you're gonna, but it's just again, I haven't played.
You guys aren't wrong. Well, I think what I'm saying is that it's overly complicated for today's gamer.
Yeah, probably.
That's all I'm saying.
It just feels
that's
like
what I'm saying. They did it on the N64 already.
I think I don't think it's a thing you couldn't. I think my issue
that was 20 years ago. Today's gamer.
I can agree with T on that because it's that thought process of we got gamers today who find 3D Mario way more complicated, and it's 3D Mario and that's a Mario game. So I don't imagine Mortal Kombat's going to be a whole lot more worse. They're trying to get more people into it. The more complicated. Go ahead.
I was going to say also, the way Mortal Kombat has been since its inception is pretty much exactly the same. So if they'd done something so drastic, those gamers would moan about it because once again they haven't nurtured them through the generations to try something new with those games. Where you go back to Nintendo and you can get a completely different looking Zelda or completely different playing Metroid game and stuff like this. These. It's because we have.
There's moaning there too. Because remember, Waker, but the core of the game was still there. So that's what.
What'd you say there, sorry?
I was saying there's moaning when it comes to the switching things up crazy with Nintendo fans too, or with Zeldas too, because there was a lot of moaning when people saw Wind Waker the first time. But when they actually played it, they realized, oh, it's great.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
It's just a nitpick by me as a non-Mortal Kombat fan. I just think
you're right. I agree.
It's that you take the time. Like there's one where shows the vertebrae breaking and the skull cracking them. It's not, and then the fight continues. It just adds nothing to the.
But you know what? That looks good. That looks really good in the trailer.
Yeah,
that looks really good for a quick look. Oh man, that game looks crazy, and that's all. That's what they want. That's all they care about.
Yeah. And
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, all we've seen. I feel like kind of like the Wii U generation when I saw what they were saying about the Switch version. Oh, it looks great. It's being developed by, I forget the exact quote, but it felt like the Aliens Colonial Marine stuff, and I made a point, I don't know if it was on Twitter or I think I replied to Clocked It about we've made the Switch since Xbox One X has been out over a year now, and now they're game developers are showing off the first footage of their game is running on the Xbox One X now. It used to be always the PS4, and someone's like, well, you want to show it in the best light, but I'm like, do you really? Because there's probably 80-some million plus people who don't have these 4K systems, and you show it its best first, and then when you see the other versions, you could be disappointed. So I'm just wondering, if that's, and it looks amazing, like graphically. I think I was like, damn, I was impressed. Like that looks like a completely new game engine. That looks like a, borderline next gen at times, almost next gen stuff. And I'm just wondering. I was thinking, why do they only show that at its best, just like Assassin's Creed Odyssey or whatever? I believe they showed on Xbox One X, and it's like, so when are we going to see the Switch version? The day it comes out, when people actually buy the game and can upload it,
just like WWE 2K18
and the Call of Duty games on the Wii and the Wii U. You didn't see them until the game came out and somebody posted gameplay of it.
The Switch is not a good marketing tool for a lot of people. It's like, oh, our major audience is on PlayStation and Xbox. Especially for something like Mortal Kombat that hasn't been on a Nintendo system in how long?
Since the Wii.
Yeah, since the Wii.
But they can show that, and then at the event they can have the Switch versions. I just don't understand. I don't know why it has to be the best.
I heard it was getting delayed.
Why do companies bullshot? Yeah, I mean. We've been having this problem before.
I would say people realize the first impression is very important, and a lot of people are like, we want you to have the best first impression possible, regardless if our game actually looks like that shit. But we want you to think it looks really good.
Right. And then
That
your
way,
brain
from
it'll
that
look the
point-
same.
Say from that point forward, I can just slowly drip feed you the reality of the situation, and hopefully you're still riding the high of that initial showing to not care.
Crackdown.
Yeah, I already knew that was coming.
Watch
Well,
out.
Crackdown was worse.
That just tells me they don't. That tells me what they think of consumers right there.
Well, yeah,
we already knew that.
I mean, we've done this for a while.
Yeah, that's pretty common knowledge at
But
this point.
it's just like the Switch is popular. The game's coming to Switch. You made a point to say the Switch. When do you guys think we'll see it in any form other than some off-screen portable mode version?
Yeah.
Will we
You're gonna
see?
see it. You're gonna see it on Nintendo's channel when they do the little ad video.
Well, when is it? I heard it was delayed. Do we know until when it is
I
delayed?
thought it was delayed until May, from what I heard.
Because
I
if
didn't see anything about
it's still
that.
pretty close,
I thought it was all rumors. I'm not gonna go.
Oh,
by
it's
that.
only rumor in Europe and Australia, according to.
I'm gonna say we're gonna see it like in the next direct.
So Clocked It and Retro will be playing it for another 6 months.
They said they're working on them both at the same time.
Which I'd be curious to see. I'd be curious to see what the footage looks like anyway, just to see. I mean, it's still a fighting game at heart. If they're gonna do anything to it, I imagine there'll probably be some of the cinematics for the bone crushing maneuvers will be slightly less pretty, and the backgrounds won't be as detailed.
This feels like, I mean, maybe we're just.
This feels like Wii U.
Like, why? There's 30 million Switches out there. There's people like us. I want to see what it looks like. I don't care. I know it's going to look worse. Like, why? At this point, I just don't understand why they still want to keep that shit hidden.
Because we won't get a collector's edition for the Switch version.
Because why show you?
It's also still that it's also still that element where they feel like mentioning the Switch. It's publicity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and why show it? Why show you what it looks like on VHS when they have the Blu-ray?
It's like I think Nintendo is still like one of the only companies that I know, at least, that where the games actually always look better each time you see them, and compared to like them looking worse because companies are like, wait, we can actually do this.
I saw some people trying to make a comparison. Oh, it's gonna look like, what was it, Mortal Kombat 9 or 10 that was on Vita? It's gonna look like the difference.
I didn't even know it was on Vita.
One of them was. I think it was
9.
9. It was 9. I think it was showing a difference between 9. Somebody was showing a difference between 9 on Vita and like 9 on PS4 or PS3. It was PS3.
PS3.
Yeah, it was PS3, and it was like a huge difference, obviously. And
people still underestimate what the Switch.
And they were trying to act like
can
that's
do.
the difference.
I think we're probably underselling what Mortal Kombat might look like on the Switch.
As like I said, people are still like underestimating what the Switch actually can do, because like people say, Doom, it looks like trash, but no, but Doom that almost looks like the exact same game, apart from some minor like lighting shit or whatever. Like, the Switch can do so much more than people still today give it actually credit for graphically.
And we'll find out. This will be a good test, because I'm just the producer actually confirmed they're doing geometry reductions to keep so the frame rate isn't the reduction. Doom and Wolfenstein, they did everything. Frame rate, resolution, everything dropped to keep the game the same in as far as geometry, as far as the textures were lower quality, but everything was there. The lighting engine, everything they wanted, that was their approach, was to keep everything there and reduce frame rate and resolution to make it work. And it sounds like they're with Mortal Kombat, their quote are special geometry reductions that happen to make it work on the Switch. So this will be a different approach where they keep the frame rate, who knows about resolution, but actually reduce some of the, I don't know, geometry is, background stuff. So I think it'll be interesting just to see a different approach to what Doom and Wolfenstein did. So I'll be curious to see what the final product. And as a Switch fan, again, don't think your consumers are so stupid they're going to see that and be like, oh my God, that's Xbox, guys. I know people are this dumb, but I'm sure they're worried that an Xbox or PlayStation potential buyer would see a Switch version running, not know it's for the Switch, and think the game looks that bad for their Xbox and PlayStations. I know that's what they're thinking, but I mean, there's a big group of Switch Switch owners, fighting fans that have Switches that would like to see what it's going to look like. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. I don't expect to see, just like with all those other third-party games, somebody will have a camera. They'll have it in portable mode with off-screen footage, and it's going to look really good with the off-screen. And I think that's the first time we'll see the Switch version. It'll probably be like March or early April or something.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked. I don't know if I'd be shocked, but I don't know. If it was a 30 frames per second, I don't know how much that would affect it, because if it's a locked 30 and you get used to it, but if they're talking about cross-play, they're trying to make that work, so I don't know how that would work with 2 frame rates, so be interesting.
The Nintendo gamers would take an L again. That's how it worked. And we're already taking an L because of the console, god damn it.
Extreme L. That's a lot. Boy.
So anyway, I think that's about it for Mortal Kombat 11. I'm not planning on picking it up, so it doesn't really matter.
Hey man, I'm looking for DOA 6. That's all I give a shit about.
Well, I guess I wouldn't mind picking it up, but like there's so much shit coming out this year on the Switch alone. I'm not paying full price for that shit.
I'm definitely gonna pick it up. Hell's yeah. I like Mortal Kombat.
You like to murdering people.
You gonna get the Switch version?
His name will be Bitch Dick.
Yeah.
You gonna get the Nintendo bitch version?
I'll like do it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, what else is coming out?
What do you mean? This month, or you talking
No,
about?
just it feels like there's something else in April, but maybe I'm thinking last year.
In April, I don't think there's anything scheduled yet.
I think Mortal Kombat was it.
I'm thinking last year. Last year there was
Actually next week. This week,
Labo was last year, but
no.
Labo.
I would say this week and next week are gonna be the holy shit weeks for the rest of this month. This month is pretty much
Resident Evil 2 on Friday.
Yep, and then you have Kingdom Hearts on Tuesday. My God. My God.
I'm looking forward to Sekiro Shadows Die Twice as well on the PS4 from the Tenchu guys.
Oh yeah,
that's coming out.
That's 22nd of March.
Dude, I have not seen or heard anything of
Wait a minute,
when it was at Microsoft's Xbox.
Didn't Crackdown get a release date?
Yeah, it's in
it's March something, right?
It's March or something like.
I thought I got. Well, maybe
February. Or it might be February.
Maybe it's February.
Oh, let me Google it. I'll Google
that Shakiro game's coming out in March. You said?
Yeah.
Literally haven't seen anything or heard anything since the Xbox.
It is coming out on... No, it's February.
Yeah.
I'll be picking up Resident Evil. I have it pre-ordered. I only pre-ordered it because my Gamers Club would have ran out. So I got that and Yoshi, my last 2 Gamers Club 20% discount games.
Damn, that's in February 15th. Jesus Christ. All right.
That Crackdown hype is palpable, man.
If it was any lighter, you wouldn't think it was dead or anything.
Hey, speaking of Mojo Plays, the most anticipated games of February, Crackdown 3 is on their thumbnail. So
that's because that's the only publicity it's gonna get. Because fucking Xbox don't give a damn.
You want to talk about showing a game too soon and too often that really kills the momentum? I
don't think it was too soon. I think they anticipated it coming out earlier than they did.
Well, but they didn't know that, but still, seeing a game like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, however long, and then seeing it a bunch of different times, it really does kill. And
at the end of the day, it's Crackdown. Like,
but some games can rise above it. Crackdown cannot.
No. It's. I mean, if you played 1 or 2, 3 is going to be a slightly prettier version of 2.
Also that because Crackdown is not a hot. I wouldn't even consider that a AAA franchise.
I put it on the same level as what's the Infamous games? People like them. They're fun.
I love Second Son,
but they're very repetitive.
Average as fuck.
The gameplay is very repetitive, which if you can deal with that, then fine. But I always fell off of those games because it was just I felt like I was doing the same thing.
That's because you were.
Yeah, but in a game, then you look at a game I can't really say that and roll with that because you look at a game like Starlink. There's a lot of samey stuff with that game too, but don't tend to fall off.
Big drop in its value to me is when I started realizing how I was just doing the same thing over and over. But for some people and some games, it works. So
it works for some games, I guess.
I just had a thought too, because we were just talking about seeing Crackdown forever ago, and I remember Xenoblade Chronicles X got a little of that.
Yeah, it was like 3 years, I think. No, 2 years.
The complete opposite of that was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which they revealed in the end of March that it existed, and it came out in December. And looking at the sales, how great that did, I wouldn't be shocked if Nintendo was gonna say, "All right, we're gonna play that game again." And I think
Nintendo's always kind of done that anyway.
Yeah, they have, but not. I think they're gonna be really I think there's a game that's gonna come out this year. Hasn't been confirmed. That's gonna be maybe not to Smash level of big AAA, whatever you want to call it, big of a game. But I really feel like that's partly why we haven't got a January Direct, and I don't think we're going to get one. I think March could be another one of those. If they do another Direct, if they do any more Directs, that could be a model they might try to follow a little more closely now. And so I still have a little bit of hope for a major title, because there's some big titles coming this year. Like Rob, he did a video. He made a gaming video.
I know, right?
How dare y'all? Don't throw us like that. Just let him just be happy. He's working on his music.
I'll link it in the chat, the live chat.
Oh, look at that! You promote someone else's video.
He was talking about 2019 games, and there's some heavy hitters. Not for me personally, but for Nintendo, those are some big franchises coming out this year. So maybe they wouldn't, but I just had that thought when we were talking about Crackdown that there still could be a game we don't even know, and it comes out still in 2019 as Nintendo, and it's pretty big.
Nintendo does it all the time.
That worked for Smash though, because it's Smash.
Just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Smash that's not gonna work for everything.
It wouldn't work for a new IP, but
no, because they didn't do ARMS.
They did it with Smash. I think they did the same with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Like a couple of months later, that shit came out.
Most games came out in 2017. ARMS was like that, and Mario Odyssey was like that. But Mario Odyssey
felt like Smash was coming. We thought it was gonna be Wii U Deluxe or something, but we all thought Smash was coming.
But if probably it's a bad example because the 2D Mario team, they just released new Super Mario Brothers U. But let's say that Deluxe version hadn't come out. And they maybe a top-down Zelda from the 2D Zelda team, it's announced in March, kind of like, or a Metroid 2D game for the Switch or something. I still wouldn't mind. I still wouldn't write it off that they could do that, because it did. It worked for Smash, like I said, it's Smash, but I think some major franchises that could work for, and I'd be curious to try to repeat. So.
We're just like the most tame hype man.
What the hell are you going through over there?
he's over there just like,
I'm like, Outrun exclusive to Switch.
Young Jeezy.
Yeah. I've heard it. What's up about Young Jeezy? Wow.
Clock Jeezy over here. You got Clock Jeezy.
What about a brand new Outrun exclusive to Switch coming out in 2019?
Ooh, sexual sausage.
Panzer Dragoon 4. Anyway, anybody see the trailer for the Power Rangers fighting game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mighty muffin Papa Painters.
Some people $20.
I thought it was a Wii game when I first saw the trailer. That was on Twitter. I don't know if they have an official YouTube.
It's $20. No, it doesn't look that good. It's $20, man. So
is it?
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, if it's $20, I think it's a little bit more understandable.
It's a $20 game, guys.
I paid less than $20 for them Hollow Knight. No excuses now. We said this last week. No excuses anymore. You can get.
Yeah, but see, we're full of shit.
Yeah, but Hollow Knight is a 2D game, bro. If they had that budget for a 3D game, then
they would have made it.
Right. So that's the difference. I'm not saying because it's $20 it should be shit. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, visually, I wouldn't expect it to be that impressive.
Come to Switch, though.
Huh?
It's coming to Switch.
It's coming to Switch. So that's one of the reasons people even talking about this shit.
Why you want me? And they can't even really show much. I mean,
because they're smart. Yeah. You don't want to show too much.
All right, so somebody linked or tagged me in a very interesting link to a Nintendo of America careers job.
Oh, here we go.
For a position. And it's definitely worth talking about. So let's see, this is quote under like, first they say who they are, then we are looking for an experienced manager who can lead and drive Nintendo's online subscription service.
Come on, T.
This is an opportunity for the successful listen to this. Successful candidate to help grow and an emerging part of Nintendo's core business and lead a cross-functional team of stakeholders across the organization to align on priorities and execute with excellence. Now, that part about aligning priorities to me speaks volumes. So then it finishes with this role will be responsible for managing the Nintendo Switch Online operations and drive the program priorities, execution, and business objectives. And they give a bunch of key duties, list of duties and stuff. I'll link the chat here. So that tells me, and I worked for a company that bought the company I worked for, and they tried to force we're a distribution. They tried to force a manufacturing mindset on us and open this huge warehouse in Louisville and with all the wrong ideas. And then they 2 or 3 different times they hired some big shot dude from another company to try to make this Louisville warehouse work. And the problem with that was they still had that stupid mindset. They didn't give them free rein to really do what needed to be done. 5 years later, it failed, and they brought all the product back to our little ass warehouse, and it didn't work out. And these people had to resign or get fired. Now that's worst case scenario. This to me tells me they realize there's a problem, and that whole align the priorities and execute tells me that they need to do that they want this person to. They might not. They don't know how, but they're hoping to find somebody who will know how to basically
put lipstick on a pig.
Now, I'm not saying they won't give them all the tools and it won't happen.
I was going to say, because I would love that job if they let me give input on what the online service is.
Yeah, it sounds like they want it to be like we always say, like each game's different, and this whole online tells me they want it to be a unanimous. What's the word? Not unanimous, but every game, to have the same
consistent
function. Yeah, consistency across the board, and have a something to go off a list. Hey, we're making our game. It's going to have online. It has to work with these things. These every game's going to have it. I like seeing that that's what it's saying, and whether that ever happens or this person can turn it around, I don't know. But this tells me they know that they have a problem and they need somebody to either fix it or to blame when it doesn't work.
You know what it also tells us? I don't know if it's telling us that, but it's reiterating the fact that Nintendo is unbelievably incompetent when it comes to their online stuff.
Exactly.
At this point, you need that guy. Like, that's ridiculous.
Now you need this guy, but the person needs to have. It's desirable to have Japanese fluency in Japanese. So
to me, this shit is way more like Reggie wearing a Metroid shirt. I think people are blowing this shit so far out of proportion. Like, I don't believe for a second that Nintendo in Japan is like, man, we need to completely overhaul this online because people are really saying it sucks. Okay, let's hire somebody in America with an online ad to make this shit work. No way. I think the dude that they want is going to be hired for something very specific, something really like meaningless and mediocre. It doesn't actually matter. Like, no way is it actually a position to completely overhaul the Nintendo online shit. There's no way I'm ever going to believe that.
Somebody from in-house
in the ads,
to do that.
In the ads, sorry, T. In the ads, it says what does it say, to manage the priorities.
Well, and it says establish the key objectives.
Yeah, key objectives. They're already set. Nintendo have already set them. This guy's going to roll up, and he just has to see them through as best as possible. That's going to be.
Then hire somebody from inside to do that.
Now, if I was in a position to do this interview, establish the objectives to me tells me they want somebody to come up with what needs to happen. That's how it reads. Now, if you guys
establish objectives means
not
your objectives in the stuff.
Yeah, this tells me they want, and like I said, I don't know, they'll give him free reign or it'll fix it, but this reads like, hey, we want somebody to come in and make this online work. That's what it tells me.
And probably want somebody to
like. Doesn't sound like, hey, we need a puppet to just say things that sound good to people. Like this tells me they want somebody to come in and make it work. That's a lot of responsibility for somebody to come in and have to do. But and then
I think this person is going to be like managing like the for America, like the Animal Crossing Twitter page or some bullshit, you know. Like I think it's gonna be that low.
Not
like,
the way it's
it's like it's no way like that people think like, oh, Nintendo's finally listening online. That's like, no, don't count on it.
So you don't think this listing reads like what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's going to happen or that person's going to be able to turn around, but to me this is a call for somebody to come in and basically start from scratch is what this reads to me.
No, I don't think so. Like I said, if I'm actually realistically, at most, Nintendo in Japan, you know, like, come on, they like run everything. They have a plan, they have an ID, and they need somebody in America to like translate that maybe to like Western ways and adapt some shit. Like, I don't know what, but like, I don't think this is going to be like any kind of even minimum overhaul of what they're already doing, because everything that everybody thinks is wrong with the online, it doesn't require like a fucking recruitment or some shit. It's like basic shit that everybody is saying. I don't think they need some random dude in America to fix
basic
that.
From your perspective and my perspective,
can't get it right. They
can't get it right. We shouldn't be here on the Switch at this point.
Yes, but I mean the starting point would always be like, no, I don't know. Like I said, I just don't think that this is what it's going to be.
And they think that and then Nintendo Japan is a roadblock, but I mean this is pretty clear the way that this is listed, that somebody's, to me, whether Japan, I mean, I don't think this listing would go up if Nintendo Japan didn't know about it. Like,
yeah, if they just wanted a yes man, they could do that from an in-house mailing system. They don't need to like put this out and get somebody from the outside. They could totally hire somebody to be a yes man and this is our priorities, do this and make sure the team knows. Like they can do that on their own. They don't need to put a public hiring out for that. So I think there's more to it. I don't know how extensive it's going to be.
Because think about it.
I think there's more to it.
When did that go live? September? I forget the date. It
was like early September.
We've had, other than adding NES games, they've done nothing else. They've done the voice quality still shit. They didn't add any features. They didn't add anything. It's not changed since that September. Basically, it played just like it did in the beta when Splatoon 2 came out. It really, other than the NES games, they didn't.
They know there's a disconnect because I think they put up those same online videos on Nintendo Japan, and they don't get downvoted the way they do over here. So I mean, maybe I'm reaching, but I feel like they want to know what the disconnect is.
I don't know. Like they could hire somebody. It could be he or she could be awesome, have great. Hey, this is what we got to do. Let's work on it. It still could take a year before we even see that, even if everything goes well. Mm-hmm. Because they'd have to. If they really listen to somebody and all right, these are our key objectives. We need a messaging system, invite system across the board, whatever the case may be. Well, then they have to decide, well, are we going to retroactive? Are we going to update all the old games to take this? Is this going to be a system-wide thing and every game is going to have to be updated to work? Like, there's a lot of things that need to happen.
I guess that's the difference between what I think and what you guys think, specifically on what T just said. You know, like what T said, like that, what he thinks, like there's this disconnect. I do not think, and I know this is not what you said, but I do not think that Nintendo of Europe, Nintendo of America, Nintendo UK, Nintendo, you know, everything that is not Japan. I do not think that all of these companies are like all filled with Japanese people who have no clue about how shit goes here. Like in Europe and in America specifically, you know, you have many people and divisions, and that even for the online shit, that must be stacked with people who know what to do and who knows how shit goes over here. Like, I don't think they need one dude to completely save them from the online bullshit. I just don't see that.
Well, I think they probably don't even have this position. Probably doesn't even exist yet. That's what they're hiring for.
To me, it's like making a movie with no director, just making a movie with executive producers.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need a guy running, you know, conducting the train. You need a guy.
It feels
to
like
pull
that's
it all
how,
together.
Yeah, it feels like that's how the online was thrown together. And you think they would have tried to hire this person in that 1.5 year delay.
Right.
But
well, you think a lot with that 1.5 year delay would have happened. That didn't
I'm
happen.
sure, like, I haven't done it in a while, but I do want to put some feedback on the Switch app, because there is that feedback option, and you know, give my feedback, and instead of just yelling and cussing, I just actually give some feedback. But it's got to be flooding in with people just complaining. I mean, unless people just got bored with it, but are annoyed with having to do it. But I feel like there's got to be, somebody's got to know that this is not, people are not happy. I mean, I think if no one said anything and people just were fine with it, I don't think this position would have popped up.
And I think it also links to, I mean, because the Switch obviously has a diversified fan base. So a lot of fans of the Switch didn't own a Wii U, didn't own a Wii. And so they're used to certain things, and they come over to the Switch and like, hey, what's going on? Hey, this is not what I can do on my PlayStation this or my Xbox that. You guys need to do this. You need to do that. So
it's embarrassing to think about someone who's been an Xbox gamer for the last, let's say, 5-6 years, buys a Switch, and he's like,
what the fuck is this?
What can I do? Like, I can't do anything with my friend. Like, it's so archaic. So
I mean, especially as an Xbox gamer, I guess like they have to do something they can't do on Xbox and focus on games.
Yeah.
But and they're not really doing that either. Well, they are focusing on game. But I'm saying, if you look at last year and you look at the Switch Online, Nintendo didn't seem to be like they were doing too much. They're putting out these games that weren't really fully there at the beginning, like Mario Tennis and Kirby. And, you know, over the months, they add more stuff to them and make them worth the initial price. But what were they doing last year? You know, not a whole lot.
Super Mario Party. I mean, it's sold all right, but it's already been forgotten. And
it's a good game, but it's not a highly taxing on their, you know.
Yeah, so it is what the hell they've been doing. I mean, with everything. So I don't know. I just think they've
been selling Switches and making money out this bitches. That's what worries me. It's like, they're making a lot of money. They're selling and they're not really doing a whole lot. Maybe they might see something in that. You know, I don't want that to happen. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. So, I hope that when someone gets this job, it's what they say it is. And it's not like there's not a bunch of red tape bullshit, a bunch of Japanese red tape where they're like, the headquarters is like, no, that don't sound good. Just, who knows? And like I said, we wouldn't see the fruits of this for a long time.
It's not gonna do anything for now.
Oh yeah.
By the end of the year at the earliest, if they hired somebody that actually.
But hey, Super Nintendo games are coming, so it's all good.
But other than that, man, I really don't have any. I don't have anything else, man.
Let's talk about Super Nintendo games coming, man.
I mean, how much of a conversation can you really do about that? Oh, I guess that's a thing. All right, sure. All right.
Well, I find that specifically weird because we technically knew that was coming for forever, and then people are like, "Oh my god, guys!"
It's also not interesting. It's still not interesting.
I don't know.
I just find it weird that some of these news tubers, I guess that's all I can call them, who put out the news. You know, they read the news and stuff.
They read the article.
It's literally their job to talk about these things, but they act surprised when somebody data mines and finds Super Nintendo.
Because we need video, we need ad revenue. God damn it,
bro! I don't understand. Holy shit, why are you acting all?
They think Nintendo was lying. They didn't think they would actually do it.
I think the reason of that is like the main problem with all these guys is like because we knew this was coming basically. You know, I think one of you even found like proof where they said it and shit. I think Clock did. He posted
it's on their website. Wasn't it on the
but like, here's the thing: like one person says, "Oh, it's gonna come now," because they're idiots and they don't know their shit, and because nobody actually works. Like a person they follow, oh, he says it's coming now, so let's make a video like he's doing, and he's making a video, and everybody makes a video based on what everybody's saying.
I get a video.
Except, yeah, exactly. Except that nobody's actually looking into it. That's like how these days on TV you have like the news, but you don't really get like journalists anymore. Everybody's just like ripping videos of YouTube now and shit. Nobody's actually doing the work anymore.
Yeah, people are literally ripping news from TV and putting it on YouTube. It's like, what the hell? There's no work being done.
Exactly.
I don't believe in work. That goes against my religion.
I would say, just speaking on the Super NES games, as someone who didn't buy the Super NES Classic, there's games
there's some variations
on the system to me that I'd be excited to actually play because I haven't played my Super NES or games from the Super NES like Super Metroid and Super Mario World. I played to death, you know, but there's some games that I never got in Virtual Console that I would generally be looking forward to playing, and I would turn my system on to play
for 5 minutes.
Yeah, we'll see how long it lasts, but so it's got some appeal. But if I had just bought a Super NES Mini or something like that,
if you're like me, you know, like, well, this is both. I don't care.
But it's also this, you know, like
not only do I not care, I'm actually mad because you should have put out the Super Nintendo controller first instead of making me buy both.
Yeah, you said that right away.
Grimy as hell, and I said that was going to happen. Remember in the podcast, I said that was going to happen, and they totally are doing that.
How stupid do those controllers look?
They look so stupid
on the Switch, and the Super, and it's going to look even dumber.
Oh, even worse.
But I mean, like, you're gonna get like 1 or 2 games, you know, a month or some shit. So before this even becomes remotely interesting, unless they actually do like a virtual console like the Wii had, I think it was the Wii that had seriously the best virtual console. Like, unless they do something like that instantly, you're gonna get like month 1,
there better be
Mario
like
World,
30
month
games
2, Street Fighter 2 for the
that's not happening,
time.
Juice.
And then you're gonna get F-Zero, and then you're gonna get Zelda. You know, it's like before you get the games that actually matter that people care about, you're gonna be like 2 or 3 years ahead if you're lucky, if they even do that shit. You know?
Juice thinks they're gonna drop all these games at once. You're gonna get Twin
this
B
is not
2.
gonna be a Wii thing.
First month, you're gonna get Twin B and Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past. That's what you're gonna get.
Then you got like Wario Woods, and people want F-Zero, so they're gonna give them F-Zero. You know, it's gonna be bullshit like that.
Goodness.
I think you're gonna get 21 games all at once. Not happening.
You still don't think they're hiring a person retro? You still don't think they have good, like, genuine intentions to make it better with this hire? When out the shit we're just talking about, how stupid this sounds, like releasing 2 Super NES games a month, like that's the kind of shit they need somebody.
They were doing that on the Wii U to a degree.
I was gonna say this would be so much cooler had a system called the Wii and the Wii U not existed.
Mm-hmm.
Like this would be, oh man, Nintendo's putting their legacy, you know, games on this as a service, streaming service. That's pretty cool. But we've had that since 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not, the luster is worn off on that.
Well, we said it in that little, they're finally the reveal video, like the NES games felt like the highlight to them. They thought it was the highlight of the online.
They really do think that.
That is the online. There is nothing else.
No, man,
you get cloud saves, maybe.
You can play your games online. That's a
and you can play exactly.
Maybe. More features.
And even then, like you can play games online. I mean, like it's not like they actually like worked on the online, you know.
I'm not sure because I've never tried the multiplayer on the NES games. Like, is there competitive or cooperative like at the same time online on the NES games? I never tried it. Like, so I don't.
I haven't played that shit.
I think I played like one game, like maybe Super Mario Bros. For like a minute, you know, because like I just to say like okay, I did it, and I mean like I have all these games like.
Because I remember people were like, "Oh, that'd be cool to play some of those games online." I don't even know if that happened. That's how much I don't know about the.
I thought you played online with one of your friends or something.
No, he was here. It was couch co-op.
Oh, it was couch co-op.
Yeah, we played Mario Tennis or whatever, the NES Open. And ice hockey and had fun couch co-op, but I never.
We got to check that out.
We should try
it. Yeah,
try it because I mean, that would be like we always say Contra. They never do Contra. Like if
I don't know what's up with
Contra. I could add online to Contra. I swear, me and T, I'd be playing.
I'd be playing that shit every night.
I don't think either. I mean, Pro Protector's not on the NES Online yet either, is it?
What?
They don't know what Pro Protector is. They have like the lame version.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's Contra for you guys.
It's the same game. Shit.
No, Pro Protector is better, man. Like Contra, you got like the same fucking soldiers.
Oh yeah, game. Pro Protector. That was the what European power.
We got like
version?
Robots and lasers.
It was like
shit,
robots,
man. Like man shit.
It's awesome. It's a perfect game.
Yeah. Well, they had to change. It was some kind of reason they changed it. For the different
German censorship, like most games.
Yeah, censorship. Yeah,
it was but specifically because of Germany always.
I didn't know that they were German soldiers. Like,
no, it's just like Germany. Like there was, like, I think Nintendo's HQ used to be in Germany, some shit like that. They have an HQ there, and basically because of the whole Second World War shit, like censorship became really heavy in Europe, mostly really because of Germany, and they were basically in control of the censorship, like. Everywhere the way it happened, like if it had to happen, you know, they had to do it everywhere because of Germany. That's basically what happened and shit. That's how
it's kind of bullshit.
Because it's not
like we started some shit, so we're gonna take shit from everybody.
Yeah, exactly, and it's not just like swastikas and like Bionic Commando and shit. You know, even like standard like crosses, like Christianity shit, like from Foxana and shit like this, like shooting people. It's too close to the shit. So you better make robots and shit. And that went as far as that, like the word ninja had to remove from everywhere, you know, like we had like, for example, Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles instead of like ninja, you know, and like we have like Shadow Warrior instead of like
Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, exactly, instead of Ninja Gaiden, that kind of shit, you know, like that shit went everywhere just because of Germany.
It's weird. That's crazy. It's things you never think about unless, you know, some over here, and we definitely have some kind of censorship in the U.S., you know, with some of the changes made to games and stuff, but nothing
usually
like
sexual.
that.
See, our thing is Puritans.
We like violence, but we just can't handle sexuality.
So we can do violence, but don't show us any titties while you shoot. We lose our minds about that stuff.
In the UK, we got famous newspapers where on page 3 it's just topless girls, you know, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe it. We're just afraid of it here.
Mm-hmm. So
that's why there's so many freaks here. We're just so deprived of sexual stuff in this country. Because people just lose their minds.
Damn shit.
Man, you have commercials on TV here in France of like bathing products. Man, you see more titties on commercials here than you see in porn on the internet.
Yeah,
I gotta move to France, man. I gotta move to France.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Retro. I don't feel this guy won't do shit. Some random dude in the US office. He's you know, he's not gonna do nothing. Sorry. Equal.
Do you think that listing reads like somebody they want to come in and actually make some changes though?
The top line. Let me get that shit back. Let me scroll back up because you know I noticed straight away in the second line, right, where everything from below the first line is your typical just liaison and PR and stuff. So straight away the second line, he's got established key KPIs, which are key performance indicators, right? You know, metrics and analytics to evaluate blah, blah, blah. Just on the top line, you've got establish the key objectives and goals of the Nintendo Switch Online that will support the overall priorities of the business. You know, just because they got the word establish it doesn't mean to create or anything like that. It's, you know, they know what they want to do. That motherfucker needs to come in and say, right, this is what you establish what we're doing, right? You understand what we're doing? Establish that in your brain, motherfucker, right? Now get it done. Yeah. Mr. Dickface or Biatch, wherever you know. Because we're Nintendo, and we don't give a shit because 20 million Switches make it sell more. If you don't, you're fired. And that's pretty much what
chill out.
Someone's been drinking.
I mean,
yeah, were you drinking?
I don't see this as a major thing. You know, just like we had the Doug Bowsers and all these guys. I'm sure they do little things in the background and stuff, you know, to make, you know, some things all nice and dandy. But there's nothing going to be major here. And, you know, even if there is, you know, we're not, the consumer is not going to see it for freaking ever. So, you know, in that respect, I don't care.
The cynicism is definitely warranted. I completely understand, because we've had no reason to believe otherwise. And
you know, if you guys found a way to say, hey, listen, yeah, hey, Collector, everything's gonna be all right, you know, and you made me feel good about it, I'd be like, oh, thanks, guys, fine.
I've said before, like, I'm an internal optimist, so that's a lot of times where my stuff comes from. But I totally understand people being cynical about it and not believing it's gonna be anything major. I'm just holding out hope, man. You know, that's
basically. I'm talking about the difference between. I think there's a difference between what you think's going to happen and just looking at the way they chose to word that listing.
Yeah, there's some merit to what
you're saying. The listing tells me one thing. My feelings tell me it ain't going to happen. But the listing itself, like, I'm not going to rewrite the meaning of the word establish, because I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, that listing to me tells me somebody, like I said, if I went in and I was someone in a position to take that interview, and the way that's worded, like just when Retro went to have an interview and he thought he was going to take a job, and then they changed what they had said, and he's like, nah, no thanks. I would go in reading that, thinking that they want somebody to take charge. And you said come up with the KPIs. They need to find out. They don't even have measurables. They don't even have a way to track this stuff. That's how far behind they are.
One video. How many of you hate Switch Online? You go, okay, now I've got a key performance indicator, you know, telling us that 1 million people hate Switch Online. I think we need to change something, guys, and that's what they do.
They should have a, you know, required when you turn your Switch on, like, survey, you know, because a lot of people aren't going to be proactive.
Yeah,
that would
force it, or not force it, but like
literally
pops up when you turn your damn Switch on.
We know they're incompetent. We've seen the result. Now the question, like I said, the question is, would they give the person the actual power and not skill, tools and backing to actually make the changes? But I would think one of the first things, if I was got hired, that the survey, like T said, that would be one of the first things done.
Yeah, and do it where
you got to find out what people think.
100 coins or something.
You got to swallow the pill. You got to be prepared to swallow the pill of the results, because the results.
Let me say it like this: if we get the person you think we're gonna get, you know, not disregarding what I'm thinking, if we get the guy you think we're gonna get, who's supposed to be doing that, I do think Nintendo will give him almost like carte blanche, you know, that he can do whatever he wants, because they've already been doing it, even with like the major IP with the video games. They've already been doing it. So considering this shit is like, and those games always even used to sell before, and considering this shit is just not working, if that's the position they want, what you think, then I do think they're gonna let him basically like run it. But I just don't think that that's what they're going for.
Yeah, I'm just going off how the wording, to me, that's what it says. But like I said, we don't know. Like I said, you thought a job, you thought you guys had an agreement on hours or whatever it was, and then
it was for like an ad that said like you know, normal day job and that kind of shit, because I don't want to do night shifts anymore. I used to do graveyard shift, and that shit is so awful. So I don't want to do that. So I look specifically for ads that say that you don't have to do that, you know. So and then I went there and like got an interview, and then I came back and they were like, yeah, okay, so you got to do nights here and here, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, that's not what your ad said. And then I left.
Yeah, so maybe this person they interviews and they offer the job to is like, yeah, you know, it's not what it said, you know. So who knows? Chances are it's not anything that's gonna change, but they got to do something. I believe that they know, even without surveys and all that. I got to believe they, other than maybe some of the head guys in Japan, I feel like a majority of the companies got to know that online, that it's just not, that's
lacking.
It's not going to work.
Yeah, I'm sure they're looking at numbers, and they don't have their subscription numbers that they want.
I mean, they have to know that for a fact, because I mean, like, Reggie, he's all fun and goofy and shit, but he's still like the president and shit, and he set all these promises. Even when he said that, he has to know, oh, this shit is actually not really happening. I don't know how we're gonna get back from this shit now, you know. And like, he said, like, you guys are gonna get hyped. It's gonna be the best shit ever, and we literally got like NES game.
Robust. It's gonna be robust. Remember that?
He said nothing since it came out.
And even the NES library online isn't robust.
Oh, the NES library is pathetic. Even if
pathetic.
I mean, it's just like I was talking about. We're talking about Xbox. Or I mentioned Xbox earlier, and you made the joke about the no games, but like it's so well integrated with the app that, and of course the Windows 10 thing, which is not gonna, Nintendo can't replicate that. I happened to be on PC one day playing Forza or whatever, but if I wasn't, not only does the message goes to, if I'm on Xbox, pops up on screen. If I'm not on Xbox, it goes to my phone. So Red Knight sent me something to play, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, whatever it was. If I wanted to play Forza, then he told me about Call of Duty. I didn't have my Xbox on. It popped up on my phone. I replied, and one of the times he said, "You want to play Forza?" So I turned on my system and played. Like, that's how a phone app should work in conjunction. Like, it should know, hey, you're not on your system. So the message default goes to your phone app. Just something that seems so obvious, something like that. They don't even have messaging. So, I mean, that's just a different thing, but like that's how you do a phone app. It's a companion to the system. When I'm not on, remember what I always said about everyone talking about game invites system wide. I want system level game invites. I'm like, what do you do when no one's got their Wii U's on or whatever system we were talking about? I said, you're gonna send them a message on Hangouts. So Microsoft and I think Sony has which I uninstalled the app, so I don't remember how it worked. Like, that's how you bring an app into the foray. That's how you don't make it the only way to do anything. Like, you make it a companion to, and it works. I mean, you got to have the app installed. You got to be access to Wi-Fi or have high-speed data, or have some data left, and you never miss a message. So it's like that's how I hope they would do it, because I always said, when I don't have my system on, that game invite does nothing for me when I don't have my system on, and this is a way that they did, that Xbox got around that. So it's just stuff like that. I mean, it should be standard, just like I think gyro should be standard on all controllers, but it isn't. So whatever. Ruby keeps bringing up no info on Fire Emblem Three Houses. So I guess anyone, Terrell, anyone want to talk about the fact that we haven't heard a peep on this game since
E3.
Taking them next one. They're making 3 games. That's what they're doing.
Oh, hey, you better shut your fucking mouth.
I bet they definitely are doing that.
Hey, Retro. We already dealt with that before, and no one has that kind of fucking money or patience for that shit.
Come on, you would buy all 3.
No,
listen. Wait a minute. You said it's called Fire Emblem Three Houses? I thought because IGN, NBC told me it was IGN. They told me it was Fire Emblem Three Heroes. That's what and it was on the 3DS.
Coming out 2020 on the 3DS too. God damn, I didn't know that existed.
Talk about having one job and totally
you had one
fucking it up.
All you had to do was write the names down.
Why can't they? I don't understand why they just can't find a Nintendo person to hire.
That doesn't even require a Nintendo person. That requires basic common sense.
But still,
they still need a Nintendo person though.
Well, I mean, they need a Nintendo person, but I'm just offended. How did you fuck up that many names in the course of like 5 minutes?
But I'm looking at Pear sitting there like, yeah, that sounds right. He's not even saying anything about it.
Yeah, Pear, you were just the old guy we put up with now. Just go get in your rocking chair. I'm sick of your shit.
I think he's with it, and I think he just bited his tongue thinking, holy fucking
I think so too. I think he knew, but he didn't want to like super embarrass them on the air like that. That's what I felt, because he knows his shit. Like Pear definitely knows his shit.
Yeah.
And the other two totally did not. They did not know what they were talking about. The one guy called it an RTS. What the hell? Fire Emblem is an RTS?
Yeah, I love that. You know, I played the latest one. What is it? What is it?
It's just like StarCraft. Apparently,
Fire and Faith is the latest RTS from Nintendo America. What piece of shit!
I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
So bad.
Oh my god!
This is kind of gonna get into something I wanted to make a video about, was the fact that like no one really needs traditional like a site like IGN anymore. Yeah, you got essentially doing the same fucking thing with less production value. At least when I go to Player Essence video, regardless if I want to hear news or not, he'll fucking say the right name in the goddamn game.
And there's more interaction with the, because
you're doing live chat.
No interaction, right?
I ain't got to see 4 people at a podcast table who are just sitting there trying to get a page.
Again, let's backtrack a little bit. Let's back up a little bit, because then again, a lot of these guys you're talking about get their information from IGN, and then they retread it. Yeah. So IGN is still necessary, just not in the way of like podcasts and videos and one-off videos. So
that's a good point.
Let's be a little careful.
I don't know. I'm on Nintendo news from Nintendo Everything. I don't do that fucking.
Well, I was gonna say Nintendo Everything is also a really great source for.
To me, that's a mid-tier site where it's specifically focused on one company, which to me makes things easier anyway.
Yeah, that's you're a Nintendo fan. You subscribe to Nintendo Life, and you're gonna get
Nintendo Life. Yeah,
because you focus on one game console, and you're not focusing on what. Nintendo, PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and it's 4 or 5 different types of games. Now, luckily, Xbox doesn't have any IPs themselves, so it's not a big deal.
Well, what was that company Sean Long started? Nintendo Enthusiast or something?
Yeah.
But they apparently had like PlayStation Enthusiast and Xbox.
Yeah, they had other Enthusiast channels.
But I don't feel like that Enthusiast channel. I feel like they kind of. I haven't been subscribed for a long time.
Well, once he left, the new guy is not.
He's not that great.
Engaging, So Sean Long has a really good personality, and that's what helped them on that channel. So unfortunately, he has a good personality for what he does. For some of us, for some people, he has the right kind of panache when it comes to that kind of stuff. So
that's the kind of noise you hear like a really official like presidential meeting. Well, I really think our president's doing a good job.
Who was that?
That's how you get shot.
That's funny. Yeah, that was. I didn't listen to it. I'm telling you, I have not even given them 1 second of my time since they brought on a new person. This was a while ago. I don't know the time frame. Sometime after E3, I want to say. Maybe it was right around E3. And the first thing they bring her on.
Oh, NBC.
And they're NBC, and they're like, "Oh, why don't you tell us, about your gaming and about whatever come up?" And they're like, "Oh, let's go to so and so because she plays the Switch in portable mode." And she's like, "Yeah, I've only played it in portable. I've never played it docked, and I only play it when I'm traveling." This is who they added onto the Nintendo voice chat. Someone who's
the chick with the glasses, right? I can't remember her name.
Yeah, someone who only plays when she's traveling, and only has played it as a portable.
So you have no in-depth experience with the Switch.
That's the person you're bringing on to add to this conversation. I'm sorry, I checked out. I couldn't finish listening to it, and I haven't listened to it since.
I understand. The only reason I'm hanging on is because the guy I mentioned earlier is Peer Schneider. He's the only reason I still hang around, and the fact that Philip's gone, which he was terrible. The fact that he's gone, Pear's been on a lot more.
Yeah.
So
doing nothing else.
Kind of keeping me.
He ain't like he's reviewing games or things, you know.
Yeah, that's true. But his presence, takes me back to a better time.
Is Brian Altano still on them?
Yeah, he is.
Mr. The Switch ain't 4K.
Yeah,
it only does
he hasn't been on in a few weeks.
And it's like, I remember when before the Switch came out, he's like, it only does 1080. Like, shut the fuck.
He fucking loves it, man. Absolutely.
That's even from the graphic horse. So that, you know, it must be.
I don't know.
Well, this is the game. He's all digital on his Switch, so
weird choice. Weird fucking choice.
Well, Terrell was considering that.
No, I was doing it for PlayStation.
Yeah, that's even weirder.
That was people
not really.
And they're talking about, oh yeah, doing all digital on PlayStation was the smartest decision I made. And then you go, but now I have to pay full price for every fucking game unless I subscribe to PlayStation Plus, and then I get like $1 discount. And the damn file sizes are huge, so you run out of space. And
it's huge either way. But the thing to me is the games. To me, I feel as a Nintendo fanboy, like I don't want to be stuck with a digital version of a PlayStation game. Like I want the possibility to sell it or trade it in. You know, that was always my mindset.
Well, I was just thinking
even on my Nintendo game,
you have to install the game anyway. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
that's the other problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a fucking like, to me, to be interested in going all digital with PlayStation. To me, you have to adopt a certain lifestyle choice. Like, you got to be the dude who like pre-orders games digitally and shit to justify that kind of mindset.
Well, for me, the difference.
I can't do that.
I got to be devil's advocate.
You're Satan.
No. Especially with the new Xbox and PlayStations come with the terabyte. Now, say what you will.
Which is about 700 megabytes.
I actually had with my Xbox. I had. It was less than 100 megabytes on that terabyte was for system and all that. So I had like 900.
Getting better with that.
Yeah,
that's good.
But here's the thing:
it better come with a terabyte because all the games are like 80 fucking gig.
But listen, devil's advocate.
Listen,
Switch comes with 32. How many downloads you gonna get of a Nintendo game?
Exactly. Oh no, you're right.
Zelda's 13. They got the Super Mario Brothers Deluxe down to like 2, but.
Smash is 13 as well, I think.
Smash is 13. There you can't, because you only have 19 out of that 32 or whatever. I forget how much you actually get. Or no, it's 21 and a half, I believe, out of that 32.
Flash memory?
That's the only.
To me, that defeats.
So you might get 1 or 2 games on. With that terabyte, you're gonna get over 10 games. So 10, in that regard, I give the nod to the PlayStation Xbox for digital.
Yes, but if you're going digital on Switch, you're doing it wrong anyway. Like, that's, to me, that was the point of having the Switch. Is
more appealing to go digital.
I don't have to do that.
To me,
it's appealing because it's on the go console. You don't want to be carrying around.
I will say,
convenient console made it even more convenient. That's my fault.
The games that I have digital, it is nice to just quickly. Because here's the
question. What's more annoying, buying more terabytes for your fucking PlayStation or buying more micro SD cards? I can just swap a micro.
Well, you can swap you can swap the hard drives really easy in the PS4. Like, you can upgrade them relatively painlessly. It's like 2 screws and slide it in.
But I'm saying it's still easy to just pull off the damn tab in the back and push in the micro SD card. Is just way easier than that.
But you're spending the same much money.
Oh no,
you
less space,
dude.
For a lot less space.
I just bought a terabyte solid state, and I paid a little more because I ran out of space. I could have saved. My buddy just got a 900 something gig Crucial brand, which is a decent brand, for like $96 terabyte solid state drive for his computer. Like that's a lot of memory and quick memory for that. PlayStation doesn't utilize solid state speed, but the size obviously. But anyway, I always thought that with at least, even though you have to install those games, at least they gave you, like, I got the 500 gig PS4. I got 9 major titles, and I still have a couple hundred gigs. So Resident Evil 2, I don't know what size game that's going to be. I'll probably I'll have to start thinking about deleting games maybe if I buy a couple more. So I'm pretty happy with
just
that.
To go back to IGN real quick. The problem with IGN not having Nintendo people is that IGN Nintendo has turned into like an employee farm for Nintendo, and so all their people end up going and work for Nintendo actually, and so they're having to. Maybe they need to have a disclaimer or some kind of in the contract. You can't work for Nintendo. If you
funny thing is, I went to go look. I said, well, I wonder who would have known about Fire Emblem. And I looked at like the last. I was like, who reviewed Fire Emblem on their site the last few games? Well, the last one was Jose. He's gone.
Mm-hmm. Works for Nintendo.
Last one before that was Audrey, who's also working at
Nintendo.
And I was like, oh, so that seems to be the running theme. If you're a Fire Emblem fan, don't stay at Nintendo.
And Per Schneider is a Fire Emblem fan, but he like I said, he's a supplementary person to the NBC podcast, so he doesn't want to.
The way you guys know their names and shit.
Well, Per Schneider, we go back to IGN 64, which is like 1997.
I've been visiting N64.com since 1996.
Right,
it's turned into IGN. I mean, I don't go there more than a couple times a year.
That's why I know their names.
Somebody will link a ridiculous article or something. That's usually when I go there now. But
the names is because those are the people I've
Matt Casamassina,
man.
What was Bozon's first name?
Mark
Bozon, yeah.
Mark Bozon.
He
went to. Didn't he start working for the guys who made Rocket League or something?
Well, I think a relative of his or something is with Way Forward does Shantae. That's a
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Talking was Matt Bozon.
Yeah, that's right.
But I miss those days, man. Getting like the Nintendo fanboy reviews of Zeldas on IGN.
Exactly.
Metroid Prime 10.
Bad because I didn't really grow up.
10, man, all 10s.
So
it's nice being in that bubble.
Yeah, I didn't really love Jose Otero, but he was better than what they've got now. That's for sure. Like
Leagues better.
I always liked Audrey back in IGN days.
Audrey.
Audrey and what's his name? They both left at the same time, basically, right?
Matt Casamassina, you talking?
No. The what's his name? Him and Audrey were like a pair. They worked
I don't know. While you look that up.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think. He has glasses and he's like kind of tall and lanky and dark haired. What was his name?
Yes, that employee.
That's not really ringing any bells, but
they left at the same time.
I don't even remember anyone like that. While you're looking that up, I did think of something else, and I don't know if you guys watched the video, because if knowing the YouTube channel, I could see a lot of people thinking that this video is gonna be way different than it was, and that was Digital Foundry's list of like, was it 6 or 7 things? A Switch.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
New Switch, whatever. They think.
Yes,
he used the word needs.
Rich George, thank you.
George, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I don't remember him. So
thank you, Tony. Thank you.
So if you watch that video, the first one was sketchy. I was about to say, yeah, this isn't gonna be good. The first thing he thought, which makes sense because I'm about to buy a 4K TV, and once they detailed what he meant by it, was that the Switch have the HDMI output and internal what do you call it, upscaling, to go to just upscale the Switch games to 4K, just like they upscales them to 1080, just like the Xbox 360 and PS3 upscaled 540p games to 1080 back in the day, just to eliminate the extra step of your TV having to upscale a 1080p image into 4K, and that adds input lag, and that just it doesn't have to do anything. It doesn't take a whole lot of processing. Just have the Switch upscale internally, so the TV just gets a native quote unquote 4K image. It ain't gonna make it look any better or anything. It's just gonna take away a processing step that your TV has to do if it receives a 1080p signal. To me, even though I'm getting a 4K TV, that didn't mean a whole lot. But they did actually he had some good ones after that. I thought the rest of the list was like, I was not expecting them to like keep it in the realm of like what did he like? I'm trying to think now off the top of my head. I remember one was just make the screen, get rid of the border around the screen, just to make it a little bit bigger for like playing Smash. One
was about the dock, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, improve the dock so that, like I said, it can has the HDMI capacity for that 4K, but it also added another improvement. I forget. Built-in Ethernet port, which I've been saying. Get rid of the border around the screen. That inch, probably almost inch wide border of black, and just fill that out with the actual screen, so that when you're in tabletop mode, you could, Smash Brothers, you could have a better chance of seeing. I was like, that makes sense. You don't have to change the actual switch. Nothing about that except for make the screen a little bigger. The kickstand, make a, look. He looked at the Apple iPads and how they have like the kickstands the full width of the iPad, and it pulls out like instead of that cheap little piece of plastic. It would help it balance and be a pretty sleek looking, make the system look even more what's the word, modern, I guess. And I can't think of the other. More internal memory, and then something else that was pretty minor. So I was like, that's not what I expected. I expected them to talk about new chips to have 60 frames per second, 1080p native. No, it was all about actual improvements. I know we talked about what we'd like to see from a revision, and I think the kickstand was a pretty seems like an obvious one, but one I didn't think of. For those that play in tabletop mode, that kickstand is pretty shitty. So
I'm afraid that thing is gonna break every fucking time I open it.
And literally you can't even slide the switch a half inch on the table without it wanting to fall. We made fun of that one guy who was doing that ridiculous video making it fall. Really, it doesn't take much. Like, I have it on my table sometimes, and I just try to slide it to the left just a half inch, and the thing falls. So, I think that's probably what we would see from a early revision for possible 2019 type of thing, like minor stuff that's not going to make you go out and buy a new Switch for, probably, unless the screen size, if you're playing in portable mode and they actually increase the screen size, I would actually like to see. So I just want to give that video a shout out. I expected it to be ridiculous about power and trying to do PS4 visuals or something, but it was actually a pretty well done and realistic. And I added in the comments about the ergonomics. I think that would be a big plus for the Switch. So I don't know. Anybody have any thoughts, comments?
Do you think Nintendo are looking at the Switch the same way they look at their handhelds?
We don't know yet. I mean, they're kind of treating it that way with the going overboard with additional costs and accessories and stuff like that. Buying that little stand. Doesn't even come with an AC adapter. That little, I forget what the even purpose is for tabletop mode, so you can charge it or something. Like, I feel like the way they're charging and stuff, I kind of feel like they're treating it that way more than a home console. But they have yet to do that typical handheld revision thing. So I guess that's when we'll find out.
I mean, I doubt they'll go in XL because that'd be hilarious. It'd be too big.
Well, that's why they, like Digital Foundry said, they can make the screen almost an inch bigger without changing anything about the Switch.
Yeah, but who? I mean, I guess, but like, Jesus, like,
I was actually surprised that
they gotta give us some of these handheld features first. Shit.
I was actually surprised that the screen was basically the same size as the Wii U gamepad. I thought it would be bigger.
I don't. Bigger, just kind of crazier.
I could see it for tabletop mode, not as much.
That could work. Yeah,
but for someone to bring it just becomes like, I mean, to be fair, you got iPads and shit that are even bigger, but like, damn, that's too big. I feel like at that point.
Oh no, man, it can never be too big.
I don't think it'd be too big yet.
I feel like. Yeah,
size matters, man.
I guess.
Size matters. As long as it's ripped for your hand pleasure. It's very hard to hold.
I did see.
What are you sickos thinking about? I'm talking about how it feels the grip. You got to get a nice grip on it.
Mm-hmm.
Rapper.
Yes.
Have both hands around it. You're rapping.
Oh goodness.
And I don't remember if I said this on air. I was trying to buy a Switch dock when Smash came out, and Best Buy doesn't have the official Nintendo ones, and it doesn't look like they're going to. It just is out of stock on their website. And Amazon had some, but they were like, it was not just pop right up instantly, So my theory was that just didn't sell, and they just, okay, we don't need to make any more. These things aren't there isn't really a market for this extra dock, or they're coming out with a revision and they're gonna wait. That was kind of a thought I had back in the end of the year when I was looking, because I wanted to have a second dock for my gaming monitor, so we could so I could play Smash and easily take it, move it from upstairs to downstairs. And it just they're hard to find. I didn't see any at Walmart or Meijer. I didn't try Target, but I didn't see any around, so kind of curious about that. But I don't know. Like I said, none of that stuff any of the stuff I listed really isn't going to make me go out and buy this new version. But I think it would be good to have, an improved or any kind of improvements that they make it the new Switch. It doesn't even have to say anything different. It could just say Nintendo Switch, and it's just when you go to the store, if you buy a Switch now, it's the one you get. Like it doesn't have to be that radical. Maybe if they increase the screen size, they might have to put a XL or something. I don't know.
Well, for that for sure, I would think.
But we'll see. Apparently, though, there was I didn't realize there was leaked info on that, like kind of like they got for the actual Switch hardware itself back in the day when they were the first ones to break the what the Switch was. That same kind of source had there's definitely some kind of revision, whether it's major or minor. There's apparently 2019 there's definitely something coming. So
yeah, just like how there was definitely Nintendo Direct in January and shit.
No, this is different. This is actually info that someone found.
Okay.
Oh, it was a rumor. Okay, I see what you
The same kind, just like I said, the same info that proved to be 100% accurate on the Switch itself. So,
so
and it could just be so it can't be hacked. There could be nothing external we even know about it. Like they pointed out, this doesn't mean all that stuff's going to happen. It just means there's going to be a different, in Nintendo's eyes, documented different version. But it could just be so hackers can't hack it, that kind of stuff. So I don't want to get anybody's hopes up or anything, because we usually don't talk about rumors or anything. So, but I would be shocked if they didn't have some kind of, because their handhelds, 3 years is or 2.5 to 3 years is the mark of the first revision. So that's 2 years will be March. By holiday it'll be over 2.5. So I would think there'd be something. I think internal memory would be something they probably have to do at this point. No?
Yeah.
Internal memory, that's I mean, if you're going to revise it, that's thing number one, I would think.
Well, that's what I was going to say earlier. To me, I have more downloaded games on my Switch, and that's including I have Smash, for example, even downloaded, and Starlink downloaded. So I have bigger games downloaded. I have more downloaded games on my Switch than I can put physical games on my PS4. So I don't think the memory is that bad on the Switch.
That's not download to your internal memory. Then you must have a micro SD, because just Smash and Starlink would fill up your internal.
Oh yeah, I forgot to have a thing in there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, because literally when you buy your Switch brand new, you turn it on, update, you have I forget what it is. It's 22, 24 out of that 32. That's all you have. You don't have the full 32. So maybe it's closer to 25, 26. But either way, you don't. Those two.
But
games,
even then, I think my card is like 60 or something that is in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for the game sizes, 60 gets you a decent amount, but still, I think 60 would be the equivalent of a 500 gig on an Xbox as far as the amount of games you could get on there. So that was definitely a hidden cost. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
that micro SD. I got the 128. And I think I paid 40. So I mean that wasn't that was a good deal, but still that's an extra $40. And I didn't think I was going to need it. Yeah, Pro controller 75. No,
you're over $100 now.
I definitely laughed at that being a hidden cost, but once I was playing Zelda for 13 hours in one day with the Joy-Cons and the grip, I was like, yeah, I gotta have that Pro controller. That is kind of.
I always played it split, so it never bothered me. Like I still play.
Yeah, I don't have a Pro controller yet. So.
Yep, I don't.
There you go.
I'm waiting for my Metroid Prime 4.
That also depresses me because that essentially tells me that Robert's been using King K. Rool and Smash for fucking Joy-Cons, and I'm so sad.
No, I've been using the GameCube.
Yeah, now you can use a GameCube, so.
But even then, I can still use.
You can use it for everything.
I can still use the GameCube, the Joy-Con separate. I'll still bother you.
Yeah, right. I will say though, for someone who likes to take screenshots, that's probably one of the biggest advantages, other than the ergonomics of the Pro controller, is hitting that share button versus on the Joy-Con. It's like way at the bottom. It's like.
Has anybody tried the Wii U Pro controller?
Like for the Switch.
The Wii U Pro controller doesn't work wired, so it would have to.
Doesn't work wired. Okay.
No, there's nothing in it that lets it communicate wired. That's one of the big things with the Switch Pro controller. And did they add that to Wii U late in its life? I know they added that after the fact for the Switch. And I can tell the difference. Like it's a noticeable difference going wired to wireless, and especially Smash Brothers. So that was a nice addition.
I don't know. I always play the GameCube.
But I wondered if I plugged in my wired Xbox controller, if it would recognize as a generic controller, because it works with some third-party USB controllers. So.
Speaking of Xbox bullshit ass controller, mine, the battery, what do you call it? The battery compartment is useless. It won't read my batteries anymore. I have to go wired now.
Huh.
And what kind of bullshit is that?
I hate that those take AA's. That's so stupid.
Yeah, it shouldn't take AA batteries to begin with, but now I can't even use them.
Yeah, there's some connection not being made.
I'm having so much trouble with controllers this week or over the last couple of weeks. And my Switch. Anybody else having this problem where the Joy-Con slides off the Switch?
No,
without locking, it doesn't lock anymore.
I don't have that issue. The only issue I have is that for some reason my left Joy-Con's analog stick will drift up a lot.
Yeah, my right Joy-Con now slides right off the Switch. I'm holding a handheld. Be careful. That bitch will come right off.
Is it that Joy-Con or any Joy-Con you put on the right? Because you have multiple.
No, it's the Joy-Con itself. It's not the Switch. I've seen videos where people show you how to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to basically open up your Joy-Con, which is a pain in the balls if you've ever done it, because it's the tiniest little parts on the planet, and tiny little ribbon cables you're dealing with. It's a pain in the ass.
You got a lot of problems with your shit. I feel bad.
Out of nowhere, all of a sudden.
I kind of worried that would be a problem, because even day one, those Joy-Cons, if you slide them in and if you really just give them a little bit of pressure, they move around quite a bit in there. It's not like locked and loaded. Like, I feel like
dude. I never had any issues with any Nintendo console before. I still have day one Wii and day one N64 controllers that still are great, and I'm having problems with this system for some damn reason.
All I care about, T, is have you taken your X-Men versus Street Fighter out of your box? The wires.
No, it's still right there.
Shit out.
Where it belongs. It's safe. It's in there nice and safe. I actually had 2 copies of that game, so that's the one I just kind of store away.
The only console I got that didn't like work was the Dreamcast, but technically, it was an older console anyway. But
just listen to this. Listen, I'm not pressing the button. Just listen. That's me sliding it up and down, no problem.
Jesus, yo.
Damn.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
It's crazy. I was playing one day and almost dropped the bitch.
But he was so sad. He was like, he's like, Mama, no.
Sorry.
My kids, their switches are cracking. And it's just like, what the hell? Yeah.
God.
Yeah, they just send you, they're like, oh, it's tea. Let's give him a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
That's what you get for opening up your Joy-Cons.
That's what you get for spending $1,000 in Switch money. That's what you get.
That ain't real money.
What's that off Mama No? Is that the Prince of Bel-Air? Is it?
That is from something. No, that's from Prince of Bel-Air is. Because Will Smith did that shit all the time. Shit had me dying.
I'm just in bed with
her. I have weird quotes that come
bullshit, man.
I gotta do I just tested the Wii U Pro controller. My computer recognizes it to charge it, but Steam does not list it.
Yeah, Steam, I've tried it. It doesn't work.
So Shadow Fox, I don't know if it works with some kind of trickery. But I know if you have a USB Bluetooth adapter that you plug into USB, you can easily sync the Wii U Pro controller for gaming on PC, and it's like under $20 if I remember.
Shit, Nintendo have even ported the Wii U Pro controller, man. It's fucked up.
Yeah, who the fuck asked for this shit? I want new controllers.
It's weird holding this thing now. Honestly, like this thing feels really wide. It's the Wii U Pro controller is way bigger.
Yeah, it's definitely.
It's like way wider than my hands are used to.
What?
I actually did prefer the analogs being both up, but they had to give in to everyone else.
Yeah, but they didn't change the damn buttons though.
No,
they changed the A and B. It was so funny. People said they need to do what everybody else.
Yeah,
they've been doing that from the beginning. How do you tell Nintendo they need to change their?
That was one of those
buttons?
things I heard on I don't know if it was a Nintendo voice chat. It was somebody like I want to say it was. I feel like it was Brian Altano or somebody like, yeah, they gotta. Why do they have to have the different controller scheme? Why do they gotta make it?
Like, everybody else is different.
Xbox and PlayStations are different. The X's are in different spots. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? That makes no sense. Was Nintendo supposed to have triangle, square, circle, and X now? Like,
it has to be like the Xbox controller.
It's so stupid. Yeah, the Xbox controller now, has a third the install base of the PlayStation. Now, all the professional Rocket League players and a bunch of PC gamers, they use the DualShock for whatever reason. I think it's just because everyone has a PlayStation 4. Yeah. They use their DualShock 4 on PC. Like I do like the gyros and stuff, but for general gaming, I just can't get. It just feels a little too different from what I'm used to. But
it's funny anyway when people say like, oh, they should do more like Xbox controller instead of Nintendo. Like Nintendo needs to do more like PlayStation. And it's funny when like the PlayStation 4 controller basically still looks exactly like a Super Nintendo controller.
Super Nintendo Pro controller. That's
yeah.
That's all it is.
Right? I'm glad they made the changes they made with the DualShock 4 though, because if it was the same bullshit from 1, 2, and 3, I probably wouldn't have bought the PS4. Because PS3 controller, the DualShock 1, 2, and 3 in my opinion, it just never felt right to me.
It didn't feel right in your hand at all.
I know what you mean. Analog stick placement, it's better on the DualShock 4. The whole controller is way more comfortable.
Your thumbs aren't punching each other when you use it.
That's the thing, yeah. Like, I always hated the PlayStation controllers, like since the first PlayStation already, because somehow it felt like it was just a bit too short and too small. And the PlayStation 4 finally, it's like comfortable in my hands. Because even the PlayStation 3, like you said, it's just not comfortable. It's like there's not enough fucking space.
The PS4 controller is the best one so far.
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
And yeah, I mean, I know a certain YouTuber who still shits on it, even though it's never used the DualShock 4. I try to tell him, like, dude, it's way better. It's not the same. and it's how you should revise. You don't have to make it so the buttons are, for your longtime fans, can't find the X and triangle buttons, but it's just so much more comfortable. It's just
ergonomics.
It's night and day. That shit.
Too bad the battery is trash.
Actually, I don't know if something changed with an update. Like by the time I got one, it was the slim model, so they might have already made a change. But I would charge it, but every 3 game sessions or so it's probably close to 6 to 8 hours. But I never ran into, oh shit, my battery's low, I gotta stop playing. Like, and especially with my new one, I've hardly had to charge it.
Always running out.
My battery's always dying, and I don't even play that often.
Well, if you don't, it probably died just from sitting there. Just like my Wii U gamepad.
That gamepad will lose that charge. Like that.
Yeah.
I bought the extra battery for that, actually. I never had any issues then.
I mean, if it just sits and you're not charging it, it'll be
dead in a couple weeks, which is weird. But I bought the extra battery. I paid close to $50 for that extra 3 hours, and it was worth it. But that's another hidden cost that should have been in there. Revision at least should have had that extended battery. It did add the weight, though. It did definitely felt the difference over a couple hours. You could tell it was heavier.
Damn, I know what topic I wanted to get to. It's too late now, though.
Oh, what was it?
What we were kind of alluded to in the chat earlier, not the chat, but Hangouts earlier, about basically clocked this video talking about the Joy-Cons not being
utilized
potential. Yeah,
that would have been a good one.
That would have been a great topic. Let me use that next week.
It's really feeling like they've kind of don't care about it anymore. The functionality of it.
They led with them, and people, some people were annoyed by that. And they were showing.
What do you think was the last Nintendo first-party game that truly utilized the Joy-Cons? I feel it was Mario Odyssey.
Mario Odyssey, yeah.
Yeah,
a long time ago. I can't believe it. Yeah, I can't believe it. That was over a year ago.
There's nothing in Xenoblade that uses it. There's probably nothing in Kirby that uses it. Mario Tennis has that one mode where you can do.
Yeah, nobody uses that.
And then I don't know about Mario Party.
Well, Mario Party technically is gonna use it because every mini game is about the Joy-Con.
Yeah, you can do a lot of cool stuff with mini games.
Okay.
Joy-Cons,
yeah, I think I mentioned Mario Party. Or at least show some video of it. Saying I think the last 2 big ones were Mario Party and Nintendo Labo, probably.
Labo, obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like major first party, like.
And I don't see that changing anytime soon with what we know is coming.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen much in Yoshi. What else? I mean, Fire Emblem is not going to do anything with them.
No. Animal Crossing, maybe.
Animal Crossing, maybe if they go down the Wii route, but I doubt it.
A market that could really be cornered on the Switch that nobody's tapped into. That's pretty much dead thanks to HD TVs. Is the light gun game?
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody could come in and really clean up, making light gun games.
I played so many of those on the Wii, man. I got so many like that. I fucking love it.
I think I have them all. I think I had every light gun game on the Wii.
I tried them. I don't know. It didn't feel the same, but I did. It was fun. Which one did I get? One of the Resident Evil ones. I rented.
Umbrella Chronicles.
Yeah. I was like, this is fun. But I never was one of those.
Oh, you need to get something like House of the Dead, Overkill. Those are fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
In the arcades, I loved the House of the Dead, but something about
Dead Space Extraction. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mentioned that one as well. Yeah.
Just after playing, I mean, I know it's what the Wii could do, and it was a good alternative. Still, that was one of my favorite games that generation. So I don't know if I wanted to play an on rails version, but it probably still would have been fun.
What game? Sorry, what game?
Dead Space.
Oh right, yeah.
It's not. It's not like you're playing Dead Space 3 or anything.
Oh wait, you're not allowed to mention any mature games on Nintendo system.
House of the Dead, Overkill. Got that one too. There's a lot of cursing and stuff. No.
Mad World.
Mad World.
Yeah, no, don't talk about gory games. There's no such thing.
The people that their lack of
Frogs.
knowledge for Nintendo, especially.
Yeah,
That's-
if Mortal Kombat was a third-person beat 'em up like Streets of Rage, it would probably be like it'd be Mad World, pretty much. Right?
Mhm.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Or be what's that other game? Manhunt. It'd be Manhunt. You know, as a
Yeah,
fighter.
well, no, wait, that was on the Wii as well. Don't mention
Yeah.
these games. Stop
Manhunt.
mentioning
Yeah,
these games.
Manhunt's on the Wii.
Don't mention these games.
Pretty gory. pretty
Pretty
intense.
violent. Yeah.
Pretty violent. Yeah.
Pretty
I don't understand this shit that people be talking about. man.
pretty mature. Pretty mature.
It just doesn't make
Just
sense.
casual savagery in the background. Yeah, hey, you real gamer? Yeah, you thought you were, bitch.
We're living. The thing is, we live in an internet age. You can look these things up pretty quickly before you
But now
go make
because
an
you
ass
get-
of yourself in a video.
Because you guys talk about like the mature games, and before that you were talking about the Joy-Cons. That reminded me that in Japan they kind of use the Joy-Con thing. Like you can like feel up the girls and
I
shit.
knew you were gonna say it. I knew
Yeah.
it.
Sunrakaga or whatever.
Kagura, man.
Yeah. Did anybody throw? Did you try that yet? 'Cause I know you don't get
You
that.
talking, you talking about the
was
pinball game or the massage game?
The
The
massage, game.
one.
No, I
I
didn't get it yet.
still want to get it. I was still because I
I
want
want to
to
get it,
how
but I'm waiting
actually
until it's on
works.
sale because I mean I want the DLC for it because I have my personal favorites of females and they're not the main girl, so I don't want to pay all that and then go buy the DLC. So I mean,
Man, if I was playing that game, my wife walked by, I'd be.
you going to jail?
I'm done.
You going to jail now, boy?
And for
are
example,
you
like
doing?
the clock that you also bought, like the Taiko thing, the drumming one. I think in Japan, they actually are using the Joy-Cons a lot more than we are here.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
She gives
I
me
want-
weird.
I
She
think
gives
the
me weird
pinball
enough
game
looks.
way more interesting.
For all the good reasons, music and titties, that's what we want.
10 out of 10. Best game.
My wife gives me weird enough looks playing Starlink with the damn with the ships and the
You know what I
controller.
meant to tell you about Starlink?
No.
I played
Fucking hates that game.
95% of that of my 40 hours with Chase.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah.
Is Chase the annoying kid?
No, she's the
Oh no,
female.
that's the
um
I heard she. I understand now.
yeah. Chase.
Like,
Never mind, sorry.
what's the prosthetic limb on her? I think both legs actually. But yeah, I didn't play with Fox. I don't know other than the specifics Fox stages.
It's a fake ass Star Fox game.
I always play Starlink with Judge because I like time shit and he can like slow down time and it just looks fucking epic always. Especially
Judge
in
is the robot,
dogfight.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in dogfight, you use that slow
just got
motion
his shit.
shit of his, man. That looks so fucking good.
I'm looking forward to using it. I haven't used it yet. Weapons.
All right, so I think we'll wrap this up. Do some final thoughts. Clocked it. I'm gonna save you for last, so you can think of some life shit to say. Let's start with Robert, aka Trevor. Go ahead.
How's it going? How's life? I just want to say, good podcast, of course, and should look up my new song called "Soaring." I recommend it. I think it'd be cool if you check it out. And yeah, Kingdom Hearts does. Oh, well, that's still next week. I'm acting like it's this week, but it's a game that's coming out, and it'll probably be good. Imagine it turns out to be like shit, like total trash.
I know, right?
That would actually be pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so have fun doing your everyday task, and hopefully it doesn't get too boring. And when you're doing those everyday tasks, listen to Soaring. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but it did. So
Wow.
have a good night, and yeah.
He's a regular Nipsey Russell, this guy.
Yeah, man, he's just really flowing with the final thoughts. Retro Death, why don't you go next?
I just keep it short. Like it was a great podcast. It was a lot of fun and shit. Like even considering there wasn't that much to talk about, I feel like not as interesting as last week at least. But like I've been playing like Woolly World again and shit, and Man, the more I play Woolly World, the more scared I become of the new game, man. Like we talked about it at length like last week, right? The other reasons, but man, Woolly World is so good, and like I turned it on, and I was like, man, it's even better than I remembered it. You know, like level wise and music wise, the soundtrack is so good, and there's like I don't know, man, I just don't look forward too much to like changing from the fluffy soft levels to like cardboard paper cut shit and everything, but. I'm looking forward to the new Yoshi game, but I don't think it's going to come close.
How are you playing Woolly World on the 3DS? I don't understand.
No, well, I have my Wii U always hooked up.
What's that?
I know, right?
Is that an HD Wii or what is that?
It's kind of like the Switch. You can take it like with you to the toilet and everything. Like you can take it anywhere, man. It's just a lot more comfortable in your hand,
I didn't know you
though.
could still play your Wii U games. I figured you just gotta wait till the deluxe version.
Man, you should try
watching football games.
You should try the Wii U more because like aerodynamics and shit, you know, man, in the hand, this shit is comfortable as fuck compared to the Switch.
You mean that baby gamepad thing you're talking about?
Yeah, man, that's comfortable as fuck.
Fisher Price.
And you got your
like,
yeah, like cause Juice, you know, everything you've been crying like in this like podcast, you know, yeah, the way it feels in your hand and shit. You want those dual analog shit next to each other, man. The Wii U gamepad does all of that.
Yeah. It's a current gen. It was a modern controller. No, people.
And you can use it while you're watching your football game, whatever the fuck is going on for you guys right now.
Tom Brady,
football,
MVP, GOAT.
Why you had to ruin the podcast?
I don't like
that. I was done.
He's the GOAT. I'm a Joe Montana fan, but anyway, Terrell.
Brady ain't no GOAT.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Video Game Podcast where sports are dumb and I don't want to hear any of that bullshit. Anywho, Kingdom Hearts comes out next week. Holy shit. No. That's not.
It's Tuesday.
It's 29th.
Oh.
Next Tuesday. Friday is Resident Evil. Okay. Next Tuesday is Kingdom Hearts. Not tomorrow. Right. If it was tomorrow, I wouldn't even have been on here. All right. I would have been in a coma. Waiting. Just waiting. All right. That's going to happen probably Sunday, Monday night. I'm probably going to take off 6 days just because I can. Anyways,
that game, no.
Huh?
It's not coming out.
It's not coming out.
Hey,
cancel the game. Last second.
Juice. I hope football disappears from the existence of this world. How about that, huh?
I got 2 weeks without football, so.
Well, good.
Go ahead.
You need more without it. Besides
Go ahead, Sarah.
Anywho's, good podcast. Conversations about video games is always fun. Fuck Nintendo. Apparently, that's the idea I got because they can't do online and they're fucking garbage.
That's okay. They're hiring for that now.
Huh?
It's gonna change the world. The new guy.
Yeah, I know because we're out here making imaginary, hopeful optimism. You don't realize being a cynic works out because if your expectations are in the dirt, you can't be disappointed. See, I got the world figured out. Stay cynical.
Shitty way to live, I tell you.
You turn out so damn successful. Anyways, life's a game, play to win, and life is worth living, except when it's not.
It does like some Robin shit.
That sounds like some pro-suicide shit.
It's Monday.
T, why don't you
go? Yeah, good podcast, guys. Tom Brady is the GOAT of 5-yard slant passes to guys who run for 15 yards after that. He is the GOAT of that. And
anyway, because the 49ers didn't run a dink and dunk West Coast offense. But anyway.
Well, we can talk about that off air. But anyway, great podcast. Yeah, so looking forward to not much. I guess Resident Evil 2 is the thing, and that's cool. And
that's like more like a pro-suicide kind of thing. Looking forward to not much.
Well, I'm talking about video games, not life, like Terrell and shit.
We're all gonna die someday.
Everything sucks. Go ahead and die. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts. I'm hopeful. I'm gonna see what happens with that. So I don't know why that's not on Switch, but anyway.
Oh Lord.
As I always say, play Nintendo, you fools.
You're stupid. Nintendo Online, you're definitely a fool. Okay. So I'll go.
Juice, you're going to jail tomorrow. It's a premonition of mine.
Like I said last week, Resident Evil 2 demo. I forgot to add. It's the best Resident Evil game since Resident Evil 4. Just that demo.
You're just a filthy casual.
That's just facts. I mean, that's not saying much.
Not a whole lot, but yeah.
But it's definitely the best Resident Evil game I've played since Resident Evil 4. It has that same potential, I think. So I'm pretty damn excited to start a new game. I'll have 10th game on my PS4 now, tying my Switch for 10 physical games. I never thought that would be a thing. After the first year, 2017 on the Switch, I thought I'd have about 25, 30 games by now.
How?
I only got 10. Damn.
That's physical. That's all I got.
How?
That's all there's worth buying. I mean, in my opinion.
No, you said you thought you were going to have 25 to 30. I was like, how?
At the rate they were going. I mean, in 9 months.
Really good.
I bought 9 games in 9 months. I thought maybe that another year plus of that.
That's because you're a filthy casual. That's why.
So, I'm really looking forward to Resident Evil 2. I haven't been excited for a Resident Evil game since after 4. I was initially excited for 5, so I found out what it was. So
I really like that always hype for 4 always, man. I don't know, man. 4 ruined the franchise.
Come on, dude.
I like
how many bad opinions can you have? Resident Evil 4
Retro-deathisms.
No, like okay, listen. 4 is a great game. It's an excellent game. I love that. Like I love the castle setting, the town settings and shit. But 4 is what made Resident Evil into a shooter instead of a horror game. After that, man, it was never the same anymore.
4 didn't make it a shooter. 5 and 6 did.
If they would have to be fair, 4 did make it a shooter.
4 gave it actual controls where you could hit stuff.
It made it a shooter.
Yeah.
It made a clunky ass
shooter.
This is what we call denial.
But Resident Evil always been
these are the first stages. Don't trust Juice.
I don't know too many shooters that have such a limited ammo.
Right. It was still Resident Evil. That's
why you say it's the beginning.
The only thing Resident Evil about it to me is the setting, is being outdoors and being in the daylight and stuff. Like to me,
right.
That stuff makes, and not having typical zombies. Everything else.
Welcome to the Resident Evil debate podcast.
Everything else.
All I was trying to say is that it was the beginning of it, not necessarily that it.
But it didn't have to do. It didn't have to go where it went because of 4.
No,
that wasn't 4's fault. That was poor.
Oh no, that was 4's success's fault.
I mean, they didn't have to go that far. They didn't have to change it that much. But anyway, if you like 4. And haven't played,
then you'll like the one that's more of a.
If you haven't played the Resident Evil 2 demo and you're not planning on buying the game, I mean, unless you only have a Switch, there's no excuse to not try it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. So I can't wait to play it. I'll be talking about it. So hopefully some other people get it and play it because I'd like to talk about it.
I'll get it when it's $25 because fuck Capcom.
All right, so anyone else plan on buying it?
He didn't even address it. He was like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I'm going to play the demo, and if I like it, and I have a feeling I will, then I definitely get it.
It definitely feels like more Resident Evil than Resident Evil.
Retro won't like it. I already know that. Moving forward.
Anyway.
Because like I said, I really like the first 3 games, so seeing them remade, I want to test it out, and I'm going to play the demo, and I have a feeling like.
But it's kind of not like the old games from what I've seen.
It gave me that feel. It gave me the feeling of the old game.
It's the same feel.
Controls of Resident Evil 4.
It's just more playable for a lot of people who can't deal with that control setup.
Still has tank controls though. Backwards or down still makes it backwards. So
I said more playable.
Yeah, it's definitely very playable and great atmosphere. Other than that, yeah, I think we'll go to Clocked It and get some final thoughts from him, and then we'll end this podcast. Go ahead.
Yeah. So last time I was told that I normally finish with some Shakespearean type of thing, so I thought I'd bring the music this time. Give my final thoughts.
I was gonna say, what is that? No,
than last time. So I've been on YouTube now for over 2 years. It's been quite a long time, but in this time I have discovered lots of flip-flopping and belly flopping when it comes to the Wii U. We videos before hating on the Wii U, and now all of a sudden Wii U games are the popular thing. We want them on our brand new console because we want to forget the trash we use. So I have a Shakespeare quote for you here, for all you news tubers who are like to flip flop belly flop. It goes like this: cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. And with that, I shall leave it there as my final thoughts.
Glorious.
Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
I couldn't hear you over Terrell's laughing. What was it? What'd you say?
The quote is: cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. And that's me basically saying all those flip-floppers will soon meet their end, while us who hold true will only die once, my friends.
Yep.
That's awesome. So you're saying
unfortunately there's no consequences for flip-floppers anymore.
I will be the consequence.
Maybe we can try to look at this and predict when the Wii U will become cool. Like what year and when will the turnaround start? When
at the end of the generation.
It's already started.
Okay, so anyway, that's going to be it for the podcast. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll be back next week.